Hello, Cortho. I was watching your video here on the HappyCabbie versus Thunderf00t on the Mosque, and you were mentioning how Wahhabi Muslims are not true Muslims. I'm not sure I can agree with you on that point, because I remember coming across this before when researching about Saudi Arabia. And if you do a lookup on Wikipedia on freedom of religion in Saudi Arabia, you can see that it says, like, the Saudi government, through its monopoly on both religious thought and practices, has imposed and enforced Wahhabi Islam on all Saudis, regardless of their religious orientation. The Wahhabi sect does not tolerate other religious or ideological beliefs, Muslim or not. Religious symbols by Muslims, Christians, Jews, and other believers are all banned. The Saudi embassy in Washington is, I guess they say, they give as an example of the religious apartheid that is taking place in Saudi Arabia. Because in its 50 years, there has not been a single non-Sunni Muslim diplomat in the embassy. So although it is true that, I believe I read somewhere else on the Wikipedia article, that only about 40% of the Muslims in Saudi Arabia are actually Wahhabi Muslims, the only issue is that the Saudi government enforces Wahhabi thoughts, and like it enforces the teaching of the Wahhabi point of view in all public displays of the Islamic faith. So anything that you would hear in any of the mosques, or anything that you would read in any of the literature, or anything other than just basically private conversations, would all have the Wahhabi point of view mandated by law. So I'm not sure that you can say that Wahhabi Muslims are not true Muslims when Saudi Arabia, which houses two of the most holy spots in all of Islam, when their ruling government is imposing this form of thought and belief, and when a little less than half of the country is subscribing to it, not to count, I guess, how many out of the country, I guess you can't say they're not true Muslims, because to say something like that, then you'd be able to say that Mormons aren't true Christians, because they're pretty separate from most other Christian beliefs, but they identify as Christians. They identify as the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But a lot of other Christians may not regard them as true Christians per se. And that's where you start running into the whole, logical fallacy of the true Scotsman, which I kind of alluded to in my comment I left in the video, because when you start qualifying things as saying that, oh, they're not true this or that, or they're not true that, then the word kind of loses all meaning. Like, a racist person could easily say, I love all humans, but I hate black people, and they're like, well, how can you say that? And they'll be like, oh, well, black people aren't true humans. And see, so so it turns a classification into a meaningless word. So I guess that's why it's a logical fallacy, because it turns something into something that's useless, but yet it sounds good on the face of it. So I don't know. Other than that, I pretty much agree with, I think, everything else in your video. Like, I don't get what the big deal is with a religious community center being built near Ground Zero. It's an Abrahamic faith. Like, the difference between, the Jewish religion, the Islamic religion, and the Christian religion is probably like the difference in DNA between a person from Africa versus a person from China versus a person from South America. Like, there's minor little differences here and there, but on the whole, like, they're probably interchangeable in so many different ways that we don't even want to accept it. So I don't know. Anyway, that's my take. Thanks for listening.